Lately, there's been a lot of anti-Semitism going around. People are feeling more and more comfortable to speak about the Jewish nation, and there's obviously consequences to that. The consequences sometimes seem to be very harsh, especially considering that the Jewish people are only 0.02% of the world population. And we want to look in this week's parasha to see if we could maybe find a source on this high level of protection that God has for his children. So we have Yaakov Avinu leaving his homeland, leaving Eretz Yisrael, our father Jacob, the third of the fathers, and he's looking for a wife in Haran, in current-day Iraq. He reaches the well, he sees shepherds. He asks them, "Do you happen to know my uncle, Lavan?" But he doesn't just say Lavan, he says Lavan ben, which means the son of Nahor. Nahor was Lavan's grandfather. And for some reason, Yaakov Avinu is not saying the real name of Lavan's father, which is Betuel, and he's skipping to the grandfather Nahor. So obviously, that's a big question. On top of that, 2 parashiot ago, when we have Chayei Sarah, in the parashat Chayei Sarah, we have Abraham Avinu sending his right hand, the first of the fathers, sending his right hand Eliezer to go to the same exact place to negotiate and find a wife for his son Yitzchak, the second of the fathers. Now, in the negotiations, Eliezer speaking with Betuel, Lavan's father, Lavan and Rivka's fathers, about sending Rivka to the land of Israel to marry Yitzchak. All of a sudden, Betuel disappears, and the negotiations are done with the big brother. Obviously, in this type of situations, negotiations are always done between the fathers. Why is it that Betuel all of a sudden disappears in the middle? So the Midrash teaches us that Betuel had a motive. He did not want his daughter to go to Eretz Yisrael. He did not want his daughter to be part of this great mission of starting the Jewish nation. And when a person messes with God's master plan, with God's children, God erases them on the spot. As we saw, Betuel choked and died. There was no more room for negotiation. And the continuation in this week's parasha, when Yaakov Avinu is forced to go down and look for a wife in a whole different country, he does not even want to say the name Betuel. He skips the name altogether to teach us again the great love that God has for the Jewish people. And even though we have a great responsibility, 613 commandments, and they're binding, we also have to remember that when God chooses to punish us, that's between us and God. But when someone else gets involved, speaks badly about us, and causes us harm, he has a toll to pay. And that is what we see in this week's parasha. That's what we see today in the world. With that, wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom.